Hey everyone, Mike Toretto here with a new series we're calling How to Avoid Dating Disasters. Each video will focus on a new disaster and tell you how to handle it or prevent it in the best way possible. Today's topic, what to do if your date doesn't look like their picture. This disaster usually comes from an online dating situation where you get excited about the person because of the pictures that they put online, but then when you actually meet up in person, they look a lot different from their picture. Usually it has to do with some weight difference between when the picture was taken and how much weight they've put on since, but this can also have to do with changing a haircut or facial hair. I've heard of situations where a person shaved their head prior to the date and didn't tell their date. That was pretty surprising. And then men change facial hair all the time. So that person could be really attracted to a beard, and then when they show up, you're clean shaven. That could be a bit of a letdown. The disaster here isn't really about how the person looks, but more about the fact that you feel like they lied to you in order to get you on the date. Whenever something like this happens, people often feel tricked, duped, bait and switched, manipulated. It's not a great way to start off a new relationship. Chances are you're going to lose a little bit of respect for the person, and even if the difference is significant but small, you're going to wonder, well, if they thought it was okay to lie to me about this, what else might they leave out of the truth or ignore further on? It's a terrible way to start a relationship based on trust. Now, in the interest of keeping things short, we're going to assume that you're upset enough to want to end the date. We can do a video in the future to help you calmly decide whether or not things should end, but for the sake of today's video, let's assume that you're upset enough that any further continuation of the date would feel like a waste of your time.
Back off, hideous creature.
Before we get into what to do in the moment, let's first talk a little bit about how to avoid the situation entirely. First off, always make your date something cheap, easy, and casual. No fancy dinners or big concerts. Plan your dates to be short 30-minute meetups in free or cheap environments that are no more than halfway between you and the person you're taking on a date. This way, if things really go to hell, you haven't wasted much time. You'll also be in a much better position to control your emotions if things start to go wrong. You might also want to send her a recent picture of yourself. Take one of your face and one that has your whole body in the frame and text it to her saying, hey, haven't updated my pics in a while. These are from today or a week ago or whenever you took the most recent pictures. This will hopefully inspire her to send you some recent pictures back. Or it'll at least put it in her mind to let you know if her pictures are out of date. She might say, oh, my pics are out of date too, no worries, thanks a lot, or whatever. This can give you a bit of a heads up if her pictures are a little out of date. Now, if you want to make sure that you're getting recent pictures, you can ask for them directly by saying, hey, you mind sending me a picture of you from recently or today or whatever? But at that point, she's gonna know that you're double checking on her looks. And if she's an honest person, if she's got recent, accurate pictures of herself, she might feel offended and upset, and it might hurt your chances a bit. So only do that if you really need to, but also I would say that if you feel like you really need to, if you feel suspicious of her for some reason, maybe consider canceling the date entirely, because we want to start off from a place of honesty and trust, and if you're already distrusting her to this degree, then maybe this isn't the date you should be going on. Now on to how to handle things in the moment. Step 1, choose not to seek revenge. You might want to angrily call your date out about the difference between her pictures and her looks, but where does that really get us? It only escalates the situation into an argument, or maybe she'll cry, or you know, in the end, you might end up feeling like a jerk. It doesn't really get us anything. You might be thinking, damn it, this person wasted my time and now I want revenge. But that's really just your ego talking, and we all know that if we let the ego master us, instead of us using it as a tool, we get ourselves in trouble. So we gotta keep our ego in check and not get upset at the person. Step 2, go through the formalities. Be pleasant, say hi, say thanks for coming out, you know, mention banter about the weather or how long it took them to get there or something like that. We just don't want to be too rude or abrupt. But what we're not going to do is what most people do and carry on this fake politeness for hours and waste all of our time. Step 3, look for the first opportunity to cut things off. At some point, after a couple minutes of being nice and before any orders are taken or any money gets spent, you want to transition into telling them you can't stay. The timing of this is important because we don't want to add injury to insult. We're about to reject them based on their appearance, so we don't want to make it worse by having them spend more money than they need to. And the same goes for you. Try saying something like the following. Hey, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I think I need to cut things off early today. You seem like a really nice person, but I'm just not feeling a connection, and I don't think I'm going to feel a connection. And when that happens, I think it's the best thing to do is to let the person know immediately, so that way we're not wasting each other's time. I'm sorry. Now, I recognize this isn't an easy thing to say to a person, even when you feel justified in being upset at them. It takes a good amount of social freedom to open your mouth and reject a person, because we all want to avoid conflict. We all don't want to hurt other people. So if you need some help with social freedom, considering taking some training with us, because that's our specialty. If you put a price tag on every hour of your life, think of all the money you would be saving by having the ability to cut situations short that you already know are a waste of your time. If you have any interest in that, click the links in the description. Step 4, handle the fallout. As hard as this might be for you to say, it's probably a lot harder for your date to hear. Remember, you're rejecting her, and nobody likes that. If she's not a self-aware person, or she didn't trick you on purpose, she might be confused. She might not understand what's going on. She might even get upset at you, thinking you're the one that wasted her time. Or, if she did trick you on purpose, she might become angry and defensive for being called out about it. She might want to start an argument with you so her ego could feel a little bit better. This is why you're not going to stick around if things get bad. Of the scenarios that are likely to happen, the best one is that your date looks defeated, upset, and goes quiet on you. In this case, just say, "I'm sorry." What are you sorry for? You're sorry for being part of a situation that made another human being feel bad. Even if that person might be to blame for creating the situation in the first place, none of us wishes that another human feels bad, and we definitely don't want to be part of the situations that cause that, so you can say that you're sorry that they feel bad. But you're saying this as you're getting up to leave the venue. On the other hand, if they start to become angry with you, they're now revealing even more reasons for you to end the date. You're basically proving the negative assessment you already have of them for lying about their appearance. In that situation, just leave the venue as quickly as possible. There's no point trying to reason with a person who's angry with you. They're not going to see that you're trying to save them time or we're there to blame for it. It's just gonna make you look like a jerk. So just get up, walk away, walk out, go home. The last scenario I want to talk about is where the date does remain cool, calm, and collected, but is confused, doesn't know why you're doing this. In this case, if you feel comfortable trying to explain things without making the situation worse, then you might want to tell her something like this. "Well, to be honest, I guess I was expecting somebody different based on the pictures you have on your profile. Somebody that was a little bit closer to my, to my type. But now that I meet you in person, I'm seeing that you're really different from the person that I was expecting to meet." Then say sorry, then leave. So that's it for today, guys. Make sure you check back tomorrow for another great tip. If you're interested in learning more about live training, check the links on the side. And if you already know you want to train, apply for a free consultation in the link in the description. Like, share, and subscribe if you like what we're doing, and let us know some of your dating disaster stories in the comment section below. Maybe we'll make a video about it. In the meantime, be ballsy.